What's up, beautiful people? Corwin L. Gilliams, I King Amongst Kings, CLG Speaks. Hope you guys are feeling blessed. Hope you guys are grateful to be alive. Some people didn't wake up this morning. We did, and that's enough reasons for us to be grateful and to find even the smallest opportunity, you know what I'm saying, whatever that's going on, for us to just to embask in that reality, in that truth, and to not take it for granted. I've learned from, my experience my personal experience that maintaining a constant state of gratitude as much as possible. There are levels to it, right? Your joy can increase or it can decrease. It can fluctuate. So the more gratitude, the more joy you're able to sustain and increase in, the better your life will be, mainly because of, you'll always see opportunity, right? In the world, there's always something trying to distract or rob you from your peace, rob you from your joy, rob you from just opportunities that the love of God makes available every day for his people, whether that's through ideas, received in your spirit, in your mind, but because you're worried or dealing with anxiety, fear, or whatever, you can't really hear the voice of God, right? Because just like anything, just like any way of life, there are processes, ways, procedures, rules, ordinances, precepts, for in every which way. Even when you don't know you're following rules, you're following rules. There's a way that the human body operates. The human body follows biological, rules, right? That if you are a doctor or more, knowledgeable of, the body and the body chemistry and how it works, you will know that it follows rules. Nature follows rules, right? So everything that operates in this world, on this earth, follows rules, whether you know it or not. And so when it comes to receiving goodness, awesomeness, amazingness, people talk about living a charmed life. You can't really live that, always being a Debbie Downer, or always being negative, or always, finding the wrong or the bad in situations or in things, or gossiping, or just jealousy or envy, or just perpetually in a state of ungodliness, if that makes sense. Because if you want the things of God, if you want, godliness and the fruits of godliness, you have to adhere to, subscribe to, trust in, rely on, adhere to principles of godliness, right? So it's the same thing with everything else that operates in the world. Now, certain things you don't need to know the details or the knowledge of how it operates, because that's God has that under control. He designed it that you don't need to know these things, but you can know certain things. Like I said, if you want to know about the body and certain things, you know what I'm saying, or nature and how nature operates, you can invest in research and your time and your talents and your gifts, and learn about these things, especially if it's something that you enjoy doing and you feel like there's a call to it. But I don't believe God required us to really know these things, or should I say, we don't really need to know these things in detail to live an abundant life. All you need to know is who God is, who the Creator is, as far as who you are, right? Knowing who God is ultimately lets you know who you are, and how you were created, and what are the things that you need to do to experience optimized results in your unique individual life, right? And so one of the things is gratitude, right? One of the things is living in a state of gratitude, is having a mind and a heart of gratitude. And like I said before, there are so many things sometimes that you can't even escape, right? That's going on in the world, or that's vying for your attention, that's trying to rob your peace, that's trying to distract you, that's trying to kill, steal, and destroy the plans, hopes, future, and God for your life, and of God for your life. And it comes in all manifestations, all types of people, places, and things, all different types of relationships. I mean, it happens sometimes in the most unsuspecting environments. Sometimes, and when I say unsuspecting, meaning you have let your guards down, especially if you're someone who is untrusting when it comes to people, and you know what I'm saying, you have an understanding of the human nature, and so you don't let any and anybody come into your circle. You're very discerning when it comes to relationships for different reasons. It could be because you went through hurt and stuff as a young person or whatever on your life, and you've just developed just precautionary measures when it comes to dealing with people, and rightfully so, right? You fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you, or shame on me, right? Who was saying fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me? It was someone was saying, anyways. But yeah, so it's like when you've gone through certain experiences, especially as a business person. I was watching an interview on Vlad TV with what's her name, Cindy Pennington. She sings a song. Is that her name? I know her last name is Pennington, but I don't remember the first name. But she sings this song. Finally, it's happening in front of my hand, and I just can't hide it. Finally, she sings that song. Finally, I think it came out like in the '80s, early '80s, or excuse me, early '90s or late '90s. And she was talking about how basically she coming into the music industry, you know what I'm saying? She came up on a bag, right? And so for those of you many of us, I should say, who've come from poverty environments, right? We didn't grow up with a gold spoon in our mouth. We didn't really see, we didn't really come from a family of wealth. Not really. We did not come from a family of wealth. And so when it comes to wealth and finance, or financial literacy, or knowing how to spend money and wisely spending money, and using money to invest and to do certain things, we don't know of these things. And so for the most part, people, especially when it comes to professional athletes and people in the entertainment industry, for the most part, that's where we know a lot of people, because of their gifts and the talents that they have. God has provided these industries, I believe, what I'm saying, has permitted these industries to exist for people who, again, may not be intellectually inclined, or may not have had certain aptitudes, or certain capabilities that many have had for generations. Wealthy people have had for generations. For example, going to law school was something that the whole law school and law school culture and industry in America, from my understanding, it started with males, specifically white males, who were wealthy for the most part. And so these individuals were able to have the stability and the peace required to focus and study, the law, right? And so imagine, what I'm saying, you beginning to train your mind, train your spirit, train your emotions to focus and to develop such intellectual abilities that ultimately it gets passed down. Like a lot of the things, that's how God made us. A lot of the things that we are or we become, it becomes generational. That's good, bad, ugly, indifferent. And so you'll find a lot of people who, again, not saying that God doesn't make prodigies. No, God does what he does. But I'm saying from a human ability, right? From a human's ability, or should I say the design of a human, they're able to pass down their traits, characteristics. It's not just physical. It can be mental, spiritual, emotional. For me, I can speak of, I, there are traits about me that I have from my father who he never took care of me, right? I've never lived with him. I've visited, I've spent a summer with him, I believe, in like but we never shared the same space for an extended period of time where I can say, you know what I'm saying, that there's anything about him that I learned from him. Yet still, in our disconnection or just never having that opportunity to develop a relationship, a genuine relationship, there's things about me that are from him, and I don't need my mother to say it or other people to say it, but I sometimes even the way that I speak, how I say, how I sound, certain words that I say, you know what I'm saying. Of course, physically there are certain things about me as well, you know what I'm saying. And so the point I'm trying to make, and even things possibly about my personality that may be similar to him. So the point I'm trying to make is that God is, he loves to take care of the orphans, the widows, the poor, the oppressed. And so when human pride has created structures and systems to oppress people and to oppress individuals for their own wicked, evil, selfish reasons, God is always in the mix, throwing a gift here, throwing a gift there, throwing a talent there, you know what I'm saying, creating new industries, destroying old industries, dismantling structures of oppression and perversion, raising up new and righteous standards, you know what I'm saying, and preparing people, even before all of this stuff has happened, he's already prepared people to take these places. So the entertainment and the professional, the athletic industry, for many black people has been, us unequivocally unmatched, you know what I'm saying, opportunity for people who don't necessarily have academic gifts, right, for lack of better words, or lack, you know what I'm saying, the ability to, to be intellectually inclined, right? And so they're able to use their gifts, whether it's their physical prowess, even models, another industry. Like, it's interesting how, you know what I'm saying, again, how God creates these opportunities for people to literally come out from the dust, come out from the pits. When we think about models from Africa, these naturally slim and slender, tall peoples from different nations in Africa, how, they're scouted. There are people from modeling agencies and industries or wherever who go to these places just to look for models. You understand what I'm saying? And bring these people here to give them an opportunity for a life they never had, requiring no educational training, nothing like that. It's just their gifts. It's just how God created them. Not saying that they don't have to work and hone their gifts and to use faith and to keep going and to be persistent like everything else. But the point is that God gives us gifts and abilities that we don't have to tell a man thank you. We don't have to ask a man nothing. We don't have to ask for nothing. We just have to know who we are according to God's truth about who we are and his plans and purposes for our lives, so we can see exactly where we fit in, where God has what God has prepared for us, the path that he has prepared for us, the industry that he has prepared for us. Some of our industries, of the industry or the industries that God has prepared for you has not emerged yet. It's in an incubation phase. It has not emerged yet. So that's why you can't really discuss with people, what it is that God has placed in your heart, especially if it's foreign in comparison to what's going on in the world. So with that being said, my people, you are enough. Everything that you need to be great, everything that you need to take you to the next level, you have it. You just need to tap into God's reality, tap into God's love for you, tap into, the revelation of what God has made available to you for you to have peace and joy and happiness. And you'll start seeing the opportunities hidden in plain sight. Love y'all.